Hey everybody. You guys ready for some dick jokes?
I guess.
What's your dick?
Hey, if you guys see me squirming around up here a little bit today, I got up this morning and I thought it'd be really funny if I put my underwear on backwards and wore them that way the whole day. It was also a really bad day to decide where my wife's G-string. That string. Catch balls right now. So I noticed nowadays that kids are growing up to be pussies. I saw a kid, it was last Halloween, I saw a kid on the ground, he was crying, rubbing his elbow. I looked at him and I said, what are you crying about? I don't get it. I said, if it's not broken or it's not bleeding, then shut up. There's no need to be crying. And I said, next time I ask for your candy, maybe give it to me. And I said, now get your ass in the house. I told your mom we would be out there. Anybody here, any girls here like Matthew McConaughey? Think he's hot?
No!
There's usually one. My girl thinks Matthew McConaughey is the hottest thing ever. And we were watching a movie, I think it was Sahara. It's one of those movies where he didn't have his shirt on through most of the movie. She's like, God, he's so hot. And I said, you have to explain this to me because I'm not getting it. What's Matthew McConaughey have that I don't have? Because I don't understand. You need to explain it. And she looked me dead in the eye and she said, I actually want to have sex with Matthew McConaughey.
Let's go.
And I said, well, if you look like Megan Fox, maybe I'd try a little harder.
That's cool.
So I was dating this crazy chick one time. And we were laying in bed one night, and she said, can I stick something in your pee hole? And I said,
Settle down.
Strike a chord. She says, can I stick something in your pee hole? I said, no. And she says, I promise it'll be something little like maybe a toothpick or a piece of uncooked spaghetti.
No!
I said, no.
She said, I'm an RN.
And she said, dead serious, she said, well, you have to sleep sometime. I didn't sleep for about a month straight. I was afraid I was going to wake up with a pencil or a broomstick handle or a flashlight sticking out of my pee hole. Luckily, it never happened. Girls, have you ever been tickled to the point that you peed your pants?
Yeah.
I tickled my girlfriend so bad one time she pooped her pants. That's a game changer.
That's a game changer.
Oh boy.
Alright, so I'll go ahead and tell you the history about the half Mexican, half German thing. Like we talked about, my dad's Mexican and my mom's German, and I'm split right down the middle. And excuse me. And so I know you can tell, or can't tell by looking at me, that I have any Mexican in me at all. The only genes I got, as far as Mexican go, is I've got brown eyes, I've got brown hair, and I have a brown dick. I don't know why Mexicans have. I'm sorry, what?
Prove it.
When I tell you my next joke, you'll understand why.
It's up to you.
Anyway, it looks like I laid out all summer nude, and the only thing that got a suntan was my dick. I can turn out all the lights in the house and make it pitch black for sex. And my girl still says, why is your dick so brown? If you think about that for a minute. Anyway, so the other half's German. And I thought, I need to check this out. I need to understand, or I need to trace my family history. I want to go through and figure this out. So it turns out that I actually had a German ancestor that worked for the SS, which I'm not real proud of, but it actually happened. And I think, well, and his name was Klaus von Garcia. That's how I was able to put that together. But it turns out he actually was in charge of making sure that all the Jews got onto the train before they went to the concentration camp, which again I know is not good. But he must have had a little Mexican in him too, because who else can fit that many people in one vehicle? All right, let's get to the part where I'm not going to pull down my pants. When I was a kid, teenager, I was super excited because I got my first 2 pubic hairs. And then I peed out on one of them. But things have got a lot better as I've gotten older. I figured some things out. I actually figured out that if I move my balls to the side, I rarely pee on them anymore. I'll laugh at this, I'm sure to get. But that's not nearly as bad as my friend, we call him Beer Can. And I know what you're thinking, it's like a fat guy called Tiny, or a guy that's bald, they call him Harry. Well, my friend's Beer Can, we call him that because what's funny is we all get drunk, we drink a lot and we all get drunk. We take the tops off of our beer cans, and then we try to throw them on his penis like a ring toss. I hold the record with 4. It's not just because I'm that good, that's all that would fit. Alright, I'm going to end on this. Maybe, I don't know. So I was jerking off into a sock the other day.
Like you haven't done.
And I ran out of chapstick.
Yes, I'll take over.
Anyway, I ran out of chapstick. Which is what I like to use for lube. Don't judge me.
Yeah, don't judge him.
I'll show you a picture later. Anyway, so I ran out of chapstick and I thought, I was scrambling. I thought there's got to be something around this house that I can use as lube. So I ran into the kitchen and I saw that my Fry Daddy was on the counter, full of oil. So I slammed my hand in there. And I went back to jerking off. But for 2 days, my dick smelled like French fries, chicken strips, jalapeno popper. I smelled like the Applebee's appetizer platter for about a week. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. All right, I'll end on this very last one. Does anybody know what gunplay is? Not anybody? Nope, really nobody. I'm gonna introduce you to this new sexual thing. Gunplay is when you put on a mask, the ski mask, and you sneak over to your girlfriend's house with a gun, and you put it to her head and force her to have sex with you. You guys don't know about that?
Is that what you call that?
Well, anyway, there's a couple. I've learned a lot of things doing
That's
this.
called courting.
I've learned a lot of things doing this, and 2 of them are: 1, make sure your girlfriend's into it. 2, make sure your girlfriend knows you're coming. I also figured out that in the dark, at my girlfriend's apartment complex, all the balconies tend to look the same. So you should check that out too. Maybe put a hanky on the... I call it a simple case of mistaken identity. The police call it sexual assault and the use of a firearm to commit a felony. Ah, that's silly. Another thing is I learned is don't use a loaded gun. Because if the gun goes off, that fucking shit up. At that point, you have 2 choices. 1, run like hell, or 2, tell yourself, well, I'm already here. I got fired from my job the other day. Apparently my definition of a workaholic and my boss's definition of a workaholic is 2 completely different things. I thought it meant it was okay to come to work drunk every day. They don't like it when you pass out driving the school bus. I'm not sure what the big deal was, because the kids were always having a good time on the bus. Every morning they'd come on the bus laughing because I didn't have any pants on from the night before. And they would bet each other. They would bet each other to see if I could get that one last kid picked up before I puked on myself. I never played that game because I knew I was going to puke on myself. And I always had volunteers. They always raised their little hands when we pull up the buggies, and I said, "Who wants to give me some smokes?" Or they would almost fight each other when we'd be on 24th and Leavenworth, and I'd say, "Who wants to go talk to that whore out there and see if she'll blow me for 15 bucks?" This one kid was so good at talking the girl into blowing me for $10. I used to slip him a bag of weed every once in a while. No, but here's what's cool: is he would actually sell that bag of weed to one of his friends for 15 bucks. He'd go get a blowjob for 10 bucks, and then he'd have $5 left for Pokemon cards. Sometimes we'd have so much fun on the bus I wouldn't get him to school on time. But I figured there's still a whole lot of learning left in the day if I could get him there by 2 or 2:30. But there's really nothing sweeter than when you've been at the Horseshoe for 3 or 4 hours and you've lost all of your money, and you come out of there and you see their smiling little faces on the bus, all pressed up against the window, all sweaty. They're good kids. Really good kids, actually. I'm gonna miss those little fuckers. Except for Billy. I was using Billy as a mule one time. Run some cocaine for me. And one of my deliveries was a couple of grams short. He's been dodging me. But I'll find him, you know why? I know where he lives. Cocksucker. That probably ought to be it. I appreciate your time. Thank you.